Incredible revelation, Billionaire discovers touching bond between his disabled daughter and her unexpected friend Michael Hart, a billionaire in the affluent suburb of Maplewood, had it all or so he thought. In his towering mansion, with its gleaming marble floors and walls painted in the finest shades of wealth, he felt the weight of expectation pressing down on him. Everyone expected him to be a perfect father to his disabled daughter, Lily, who had spent her life navigating the challenges of her limitations. But despite all the money he poured into therapy and specialists, nothing healed Lily's loneliness. Her vibrant imagination was a starburst of color in an otherwise gray existence, and Michael felt powerless against her sorrowful gaze. One breezy autumn afternoon, the sun dipped low behind the trees, scattering golden light as if nature itself had taken refuge. That day, everything changed. Michael was at work when he received a text. Lily made a friend. A single phrase that struck him with an equal mixture of hope and apprehension. The friend was Ben, a single father who owned a small mechanic shop in town. Michael imagined him, dirt smudged on his face, with a broken smile that felt too ordinary for his daughter, who deserved so much more. Yet, on that day Ben became a beacon in Lily's isolated world. Michael's heart ached as he watched Lily's laughter rise into the air, a sound he hadn't heard in years. Their friendship blossomed swiftly as Ben explored the imaginary worlds Lily created, painting vivid details and igniting joy in her sunken spirit. Michael, however, clenched his fists tighter, feeling as if this good-hearted mechanic was a thief, stealing the future he envisioned for his child. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Tension mounted in the Hart household. Every cheerful giggle from Lily only reminded Michael of his own fears. Had he worked so hard to build a life only to see his daughter end up with someone far below their social standing? His chest tightened at the thought. Yet the warmth of the community towards Ben grew palpable. At the annual Maplewood Fair, Lily faced an embarrassing mishap, her chair tipping over, sending her sprawling, but there was Ben, as quick as lightning, lifting her back up, extending a hand with unyielding warmth and support. The crowd erupted into applause, their cheers swirling around Michael like a storm. In that moment, Ben transformed into a hero, a character worthy of admiration. Michael stood enchanted and terrified, grappling with the realization that maybe a man's value isn't measured in bank accounts, but by the love he shares and the lives he lifts. As the evening drew nearer, surrounded by their collective joy, Michael's heart pounded against his ribs, a heavy reminder of his own failings as a father. Just then, he caught sight of Lily's tear-stained cheeks as she sought him out, vulnerable and searching. Here at the forefront of Michael's dizzying emotions was a question that would shatter his rigid beliefs: could he let go of his notions of wealth and recognize what true happiness looked like? Standing amidst the cheers for Ben, Michael felt the ground shift beneath him, leaving him at the crossroads of his ambition and the love he so desperately wanted to share with his daughter. Everything was about to change. Friend, as the fair came to a close, dusk settling softly around them, Michael's heart raced like a wild stallion. Lily's radiant smile lit up the evening, but in Michael's chest, fear clashed with something inexplicably warm, a flicker of hope, perhaps. He watched her interact with Ben, their laughter woven into the fabric of the night. She seemed more alive, unshackled from her solitude, bursting with spirit in a way that Michael had never managed to evoke. "Dad! Did you see that?" Lily beamed, her eyes sparkling. "Ben made the best balloon animals. Look." She held up a wobbly, bright blue dog that seemed to defy the laws of physics with its floppy ears and crooked tail. In that moment, it wasn't just a child's joy but a profound connection blossoming into existence. Michael hesitated, emotions choking him as he processed the sight. "Yeah, Lily, it's great," he managed, feeling the tremors of conflict inside. In the following days, Lily continued to spend time with Ben. He would arrive at the Hart mansion with a casual ease that made Michael's skin bristle. Each smile exchanged between them felt like a wave eroding the banks of Michael's carefully constructed world. One afternoon, as Michael was immersed in work, he received a FaceTime call from Lily. "Dad! You have to see this." Her excitement was palpable. She had been filming her drawing, a sweeping landscape with trees that towered like giants, their leaves painted in autumn hues. "Ben helped me," she said, pride spilling from her words. The screen flickered, and Michael's breath caught as Ben joined, standing beside her. He wore a paint-splattered shirt, and they looked like two conspirators plotting some fantastical adventure. "Michael," Ben nodded, his voice warm. "I think Lily's on the verge of something really great. She has talent." Something squeezed inside Michael. Was it jealousy? Or was it the recognition of a simple truth? He had only ever seen Lily through his eyes, through the lens of his dreams for her life. Had he been so blinded by ambition that he hadn't noticed the splendor of her own desires? "Thanks, Ben," Michael managed to say, his voice barely a whisper. Later that night, as he sat in the dim glow of his study, Michael was lost in thought. The walls of his opulent home felt more like a cage than a sanctuary. He wondered how long it would be before he, too, would be swept away in the currents of Lily's evolving universe. The thought both excited and terrified him. He opened the door to Lily's room and stepped inside. She was nestled deep in her sheets, her drawings scattered like a patchwork quilt around her. The room was brightened by a bedside lamp, illuminating her peaceful face. He hesitated, wondering if it was too late. "Hey, sweet girl," he whispered, not wanting to break the spell of her dreams. "Dad?" She stirred, eyes fluttering open. "Did you see my drawings?" "I did, and they're amazing," he replied, a rush of warmth flooding over him. It felt good to say those words. "Ben thinks I should enter a contest. We can win a scholarship." She beamed, hopeful eyes searching his. A tight knot formed in Michael's throat. That's a big deal, Lily." "Yeah. We'll do it together. You and me," she said, and he felt the weight of her expectations. That he wondered if that was what he wanted to be part of her world instead of hovering over it from a distance. Could he join her in this journey? Could he embrace the messy, chaotic beauty of it all? As Michael left her room, a sense of resolve began to form. Maybe he didn't have to choose between ambition and love. He could fight the storm raging in his heart and let go of the past, step into the light of a shared future. But would he be strong enough to swallow his pride and support the bond that brought Lily so much happiness? The next day, he found himself staring out of his office window, watching as Ben and Lily laughed together in the garden below. And in that moment, a question simmered just beneath the surface. What if the real treasure lay in letting go of control and embracing the unpredictability of life? As he took a deep breath, determination mixed with fear. Would he be able to let this new dynamic unfold, or would he cling too tightly to the life he thought should be? Each day now felt like a tipping point, and he could see the path diverging ahead. In the end, he knew one thing: this journey was just beginning, and the first step would be the hardest. What lay ahead was uncertain, but the possibility of a different kind of happiness had never felt more attainable. What if, without realizing it, he had been preparing for the change that was about to rock his world? Would he finally confront his fears and dive into this new adventure alongside Lily and Ben? Ben. The next morning dawned bright and clear, as though the world had decided to reflect the fresh resolve brewing within Michael. He sat at the kitchen table, a cup of steaming coffee cradled in his hands. The sunlight streamed in through the windows, casting a warm glow that felt like an embrace. "Dad, can we paint today?" Lily's voice broke through Michael's thoughts, cheerful yet filled with anticipation. She entered the room, her hair tousled, wearing a mismatched pair of pajamas. Michael couldn't help but smile. "Sure, sweetheart. Are you and Ben planning something special?" he asked, trying to keep his tone light, even as a familiar knot of unease twisted in his stomach. Lily bounced on her feet, excitement radiating off her. "Yeah. We want to try painting a big mural on the back wall in the playroom. Her enthusiasm was contagious, yet doubt continued to gnaw at Michael. Letting go of his parental expectations felt more daunting than any business deal he had ever made. Later that afternoon, Ben arrived. He was equipped with brushes, paints, and a can-do attitude that complemented Lily's spirit perfectly. As they set to work, Michael watched from the sidelines, hesitant. Lily was vibrant as she flung paint onto the wall, her laughter intertwining with Ben's playful banter. They made a mess, and for a moment, Michael's heart swelled. Yet, as he stared at the chaotic masterpiece taking shape, a powerful urge to intervene pulled at him. The logical side of him wondered if this was just another whimsical project that would fade. A pang of protective instinct whispered that he should intercede. As if sensing his internal conflict, Ben caught Michael's eye, a knowing smile creeping across his face. "Hey, why don't you join us?" he invited, an easy charm in his voice. "Lily could definitely use a hand or maybe even a splash of color from you." Michael hesitated. Wasn't he his job to guide Lily, to steer her away from mess and unpredictability? But as he watched Lily reach for colors, her eyes sparkling with joy, he felt the grip of his hesitation loosening. With a deep breath, he stepped forward. "Okay, let's do this," he said, surprising himself with the ease of his own acceptance. The paint splattered, laughter bubbled, and soon enough, Michael found himself drawn into their world. He painted beside Lily, watching her find her rhythm, and it felt like creating something new, something beautiful altogether. The hours passed, and beneath layers of vibrant colors, the mural began to take form. It was a joyful landscape filled with large green trees, a sun that looked almost alive, and whimsical creatures that danced along the edges. Each brushstroke became a tiny revelation, each laugh a reminder of what it felt like to be carefree. As they painted, Michael's laughter resonated with theirs, a genuine echo of shared joy that had been missing for too long. But just as he felt a powerful connection forming, doubt nudged at the back of his mind. "Lily," he said after a moment, his voice even but filled with sincerity, "I want you to know that no matter what happens with the contest, I'm proud of you." He hoped his words would bridge the gap that had grown so wide. She stopped, blanking out for just a second, those huge trusting eyes meeting his. "Thanks, Dad. We're going to make it amazing." A beautiful, innocent confidence radiated from her, but Michael sensed another layer. Did she worry he wouldn't support her dreams? Ben leaned in. "Michael, she's really into this. I've seen how it lights her up. It's important to her." In that moment, a flicker of appreciation flashed between them. Michael realized that he was no longer the only adult in the room. Here was a teenage boy who understood and cherished Lily's spirit. Could he trust Ben as a teammate in this journey, and was he ready to step aside just a little, for the joy of it all? The air crisped with tension as these questions loomed heavy. Michael grasped the paintbrush tightly, feeling the splatter of colors on his hands, and he wondered if this mess could hold the answer he sought. In the upcoming days, he would have to confront not just his fears and insecurities but the hard truth of his relationship with both Lily and Ben. What if his acceptance of their bond led to something beautiful? Or would his past cast a shadow over their future? As he glanced at the mural, vibrant and alive, a question settled deep within him: what happens when you allow love to flourish, even in the messiness of life? The echo of laughter rang through the air, and Michael felt a surge of anticipation for the days ahead. Would he be brave enough to nurture this blossoming friendship, or would fear pull him back into isolation? Only time would reveal the true strength of their newfound bond. The following morning, Michael woke to a renewed sense of purpose. The sun was bright, spilling golden light across the bedroom, washing away the twilight of uncertainty that had clouded his mind. He could hear laughter drifting through the open window. Lily and Ben were already at it, clearly bursting with enthusiasm and creativity. As he dressed, Michael couldn't shake the feeling of excitement bubbling up in his chest. Today would be different. Today, he would embrace the chaos, choose connection over control. A deep breath filled his lungs as he made his way to the playroom, apprehension weaving with hope. When Michael stepped into the room, the vibrant mural practically glowed. It was no longer just a wall splattered with paint, it was a gateway to a world only bound by imagination. Birds flitted across the bright blue sky, flowers bounced in joyful colors, and the trees seemed to sway gently in an unseen breeze. "Look, Dad! We added a rainbow!" Lily exclaimed, her eyes shining with excitement. She held a paintbrush like it was a magic wand. "It's beautiful, sweetheart," Michael said, unable to hide the pride in his voice. He felt a warmth unfurl within him as he crossed the threshold into their colorful sanctuary. "Do you want to help?" Ben asked, his expression infused with genuine enthusiasm. He looked almost grateful that Michael had come to join. "Sure, but I'm not a pro like you two," Michael chuckled, reaching for a clean brush. "Just paint what you feel," Lily advised, her voice filled with encouragement. "There are no rules." With the splashes of paint beginning anew, Michael lost himself in the moment. He painted sunflowers, tall and towering, because they felt like a reflection of the joy burgeoning in his heart. He tossed his inhibitions aside, sinking into the rhythm of brush against wall, losing track of time as the laughter of Lily and Ben melded with the gentle swish of paint. As they worked, Michael caught glimpses of a different world, a world where connection mattered more than perfection. Ben's easy smile began to feel familiar. It was more than just a boy spending time with Lily, he was welcoming Michael into their shared space. The walls were coming alive with colors, but so were the bonds they shared. "Michael," Lily called out, pulling him back to the present. "Can we do a picture of you two? Like a superhero." "A superhero?" Michael laughed, raising an eyebrow. "What would my superpower be?" "Understanding," Ben exclaimed, nodding earnestly. The earnestness in his bright eyes made an unexpected warmth spread through Michael. "Understanding?" Michael repeated, feeling a touch of vulnerability. "That's a tall order. Just like how you're understanding about our mural," Lily chirped. She reached out and smudged a stroke of bright yellow near Michael, giggling. An epiphany hit him then. His role had never been about perfection, it was about embracing flaws and messiness, just like this mural. "Okay, you win. I'm your understanding superhero," he declared, laughing as he added another splash of paint. The moment felt electric, filled with joy. For the first time, he recognized that Ben wasn't just a friend of Lily's. He was part of the fabric of their lives, a thread stitching them closer together. But if he let this friendship blossom, what would it mean for their future? As the day unfolded, Michael felt a shift in himself, a decision beginning to crystallize. Yet, lurking beneath the surface was a question that wouldn't leave him. Could he truly let go of his protective instincts and trust that building this connection wouldn't threaten Lily's future? The colors on the wall became a tapestry of potential, but the emotional landscape remained riddled with uncertainty. Michael looked at the mural, then at Ben, who was intently focused on Lily, their bond palpable. Would he be brave enough to accept this new reality, to embrace the love blooming all around him without the fear of what it might mean? As night began to fall, painting came to a halt, but their hearts felt full. The laughter lingered as Ben said, "Let us take a break. Tomorrow we finish our masterpiece." But as Michael stepped back, surveying the beauty before him, he knew that this was just the beginning. The real work lay ahead, and the challenge was waiting, how to protect while also allowing love to flourish amidst the mess. With resolve brewing inside him, he couldn't help but wonder, what awaited them when their colorful creation was complete. Michael woke the next morning feeling the weight of anticipation settle in his chest. The rays of sunlight pouring in through the curtains were warm, almost inviting, and urged him to rise. He glanced at the mural, still bright with the memories of yesterday's laughter. The smell of breakfast floated through the air, mingled with the aftermath of paint and creativity. He made his way to the kitchen, where Lily was perched on a stool, her hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. Ben stood beside her, a pancake flipped in mid-air, laughing as he caught it perfectly. "Nice catch, Chef Ben," Michael said, clapping his hands. "Thanks, Mr. Understanding Superhero." Ben shot back, grinning wide. The kitchen was alive with energy. Their chatter danced around him, filling the spaces between thoughts that had been crowding his mind. Moments like these felt like a blanket, comforting and protective. He took a deep breath and let himself fully soak it in. The carefree vibe was intoxicating. As they ate, Michael couldn't help but notice how effortlessly Ben interacted with Lily. The way they joked and prodded each other felt more like siblings than friends. It stirred something deep within him, a longing to belong to this dynamic, to find a place within this familial tapestry they were weaving. "Are you ready to finish our masterpiece today?" Lily asked, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Absolutely. I can't wait to see how it turns out," he replied, a genuine smile creeping across his face. "But it won't be perfect," she added, her voice softening as if to remind him. Michael felt the words sink into his heart. "Perfect isn't always what matters, is it?" he said thoughtfully, realizing that this journey painting, bonding, and even the chaos was shaping something much greater than mere colors on a wall. Later, back in the playroom, the trio picked up their brushes once again. The air was thick with the scent of paint and possibilities. They worked in a rhythm, each stroke revealing not just art, but the growing connection between them. Just as Michael added a burst of orange to a sunbeam stretching across the mural, Lily paused and turned serious. "Dad," she began, her voice small, "do you think Ben could be part of our family, like forever?" The question hung in the air like a hush. Michael's heart raced. Lily's hopeful gaze darted between him and Ben, who seemed equally caught off guard. "Forever?" Michael repeated, the word tasting foreign on his tongue. "Yeah. Like a brother." She insisted, her eyes wide with innocence. Michael's mind raced as he considered the implications. Could he truly open their home, their family, to someone else? The bond forming between them was real, unlike anything he'd ever anticipated, yet it also led him to question his own boundaries. Was he ready to navigate the emotional territory that came with such a decision? Ben broke the silence, looking at Michael with a mixture of curiosity and hope. I don't want to overstep. But I love being here. Lily makes everything more fun." Michael's heart swelled. It was a sweet, sincere moment that made the room feel even more intimate. He understood, in that instant, that this wasn't just about the mural or even their fun-filled days. It was about becoming a family, a real family rooted in love, not just obligation or circumstance. "Let us finish our masterpiece first, okay?" he said, a grin breaking through. "And then we can talk about what forever might look like." Their brushes moved again, working together, layering colors and laughter. He felt a strange sense of contentment wrap around him. Yet, in the background of his exuberance, a voice whispered caution. Could he really commit to this unfolding reality? What would he have to give up? That night, as shadows grew long and the mural began to dry, Michael stood before their creation, turning the day's events over in his mind. He couldn't ignore the thread of fear tangled with the joy. The unknown loomed ahead, and so did the richness of what could be. Tomorrow, they would not just finish painting, they would carve out their futures. Together. Michael pondered deeply, heart racing at the bold choice he needed to make. Would he step forward, embracing this chance for deeper connection, or would he retreat back to the safety of solitude? Michael woke early the next day, the sun streaming through the window like a spotlight illuminating his internal struggle. The mural loomed over him, vibrant and alive, but so too was the weight of yesterday's conversation. What did forever mean? Could he really bring Ben into their lives as family? As he slid from the covers, he felt the familiar tangle of hope and fear spiral in his chest. The smell of pancakes wafted from the kitchen again. It was the same delicious aroma that had filled the air the day before, but Michael felt distinctly different about it today. He made his way down the hall, anticipation mingling with a touch of anxiety. Morning. Lily greeted him with her usual exuberance, her ponytail swaying as she jumped down from her stool. We're making your favorite. Just some pancakes? Michael asked, trying to keep his heart steady. Yeah. But we added chocolate chips. Ben cut in, grinning, his arms mid-chef pose. Michael couldn't help but chuckle at their joint enthusiasm. It warmed him but also added layers of complexity to his decision. If he chose to bring Ben into their family, moments like these would multiply. Breakfasts buzzing with laughter, shared triumphs over art, and the everyday squabbles of siblings. His heart swelled at the thought. "Did you sleep well?" Ben asked, casually flipping another pancake. The question felt heavy, laden with unspoken possibilities. "Yeah, but I was thinking," Michael began. The words tumbled out before he could fully brace himself, "about what you said yesterday, about being part of our family." Lily's eyes sparkled, hope shining through like the morning sun. Ben's expression was an intriguing mix of eagerness and apprehension. "Do you really mean it?" Lily asked, a whisper encased in disbelief. Ben tensed, his face softening as he looked at both of them. It felt like the air around them crackled with tension. "I don't want to make things weird. I really just love being here. I grew up feeling different. Here, I feel normal." Michael felt something shift in him. Ben's vulnerability spoke directly to the core of his own fears. "You're not weird, Ben. You bring something special, something we didn't even know we were missing." A silence enveloped the room, a tranquil pause that allowed the weight of the moment to settle. Lily leaned closer to Michael, her little hand finding his. "Could we really be a family?" she asked, her innocence cutting to the heart of the matter. Michael took a deep breath, feeling every heartbeat echo in his ears. "Families come in all shapes and sizes. It's about love, not just blood," he said, his voice growing steady. Something profound bubbled to the surface, casting aside doubts. Ben's eyes widened, hope flourishing there. "So you're saying you want me to stay?" "I'm saying we can talk about it, see what it looks like together," Michael replied, the fear fading, replaced by a dawning joy. Lily clapped her hands. "Yay! Forever family." A grin broke across Ben's face, pure and unguarded. He reached out and high-fived Lily, the sound of their hands meeting a sharp snap in the warm kitchen air. As the pancake sizzled, Michael's heart raced, but this time it felt lighter. The uncertainty was still there, a quiet whisper in the back of his mind, but it was drowned out by the warmth of their laughter and the burgeoning excitement of what lay ahead. "Let us finish the mural today," Michael suggested, a new spark igniting within him. Ben's eyes gleamed with eager anticipation. "Will we make it perfect?" Michael chuckled softly. "Perfect isn't the goal. It's about the memories we create." Later, as they gathered their supplies and made their way to the playroom, Michael's thoughts turned to what being a family truly entailed. It wouldn't just be about sharing a space, it was about sharing lives, dreams, and fears. But in all the excitement, one question still loomed large: would he be ready to embrace not just the joy, but the challenges that this new family dynamic might bring? As they painted, the world outside felt distant, but Michael's heart drummed loudly, his dreams colliding with reality. He turned to see both Ben and Lily, each holding a brush, laughter spilling from their lips like colors splashed across the canvas. What awaited him at the finish line? Would their bond solidify into something unbreakable, or would uncertainties continue to shadow their steps? The morning sun cast a warm glow through the large playroom windows as Michael, Ben, and Lily set to work on their mural, each stroke of the brush a testament to their teamwork and budding connection. With each color they blended together, Michael felt the walls of his heart expand, welcoming in not just Ben but the shared hopes of a real family. Lily, with her cheerful giggles, danced around them, her little hands dripping with paint. "This is going to be amazing. We should add a rainbow," she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Yes. A rainbow because families are colorful." Ben agreed, laughing along with her, his smile echoing the joy that Michael felt within. But as they painted, a small shadow flickered over Michael's heart. What came after this moment of laughter? The reality of everyday life would soon envelop them. Would Ben really want to stay when the novelty wore off? What if the challenges of living together pushed them apart instead of bringing them closer? Ben, Michael said, breaking away from the vibrant mural for a moment, what if we hit some bumps in the road? What if things get tough when we're really a family? Ben paused, brush hovering above the canvas. I've had tough things in my life. Losing my mom, being alone a lot. But I still want to try. I feel like I can be myself with you guys. Michael felt a rush of admiration. Here was Ben, vulnerable yet resilient, ready to embrace the unknown. It made Michael realize that every family faced challenges, but it was their willingness to take those on together that mattered most. Suddenly, Lily dashed to the window, her excited voice breaking through Michael's reflection. Look! It's the ice cream truck. By the time they reached the door, the jingle of the truck created a whirlwind of energy around them. We have to get ice cream, Lily declared, clapping her hands. Count me in. Ben chimed, his earlier tension melting away, replaced by the innocent joy of a child. Michael couldn't help but smile at their enthusiasm. All right, let's treat ourselves. As they dashed outside, the sun shining brightly overhead, Michael felt lighter. With every laugh and playful shout, the anxiety about the future slipped further away. They stood in line together, debating flavors and giggling at their choices. Chocolate chips were a must, of course, especially on a day like today. Mint chocolate chip for me. Lily squealed, practically bouncing on her toes. What about a mixed scoop? Ben suggested. A little of everything. Michael chuckled. They were forming their own little gallery of personalities, just like the mural they had painted. As they headed back home with their cereal cones in hand, the warm afternoon air wrapped around them like a hug. But in the back of Michael's mind, a different reality still loomed. Although this day was full of laughter, the thought persisted, how would they navigate their first real conflict as a family? Once they settled back at home, the sweet taste of ice cream and laughter still thick in the air, the tension struck. The mural, with its bright colors and joyful images, stood as a reminder of hope. Yet, something deeper, something they hadn't yet accounted for, darkened the outline of that painting. Later, while cleaning up after their mini-celebration, a knock at the door suddenly shattered the comfort of their makeshift family bubble. The door swung open to reveal a stranger, a man Michael had never seen before but instantly felt was important. Are you Michael? The man asked, his voice grave. The room fell silent. Michael's heart rate spiked. Yes, can I help you? The man's eyes flickered toward Ben, then back to Michael. We need to talk about Ben. It's urgent. Michael's chest tightened. The joy of the day flipped into a pit of dread. What did this man know? As his mind raced, the innocent laughter of Lily seemed miles away. Would their painted dreams be threatened before they even had a chance to solidify? The weight of the unknown loomed large, and Michael realized that this was just the beginning of a much bigger story unfolding before them. Michael stood frozen, the weight of the stranger's words hanging in the air like an unanswered question. Ben shifted uneasily beside him, his small hands clenching the melting ice cream cone. The sunlight felt harsh now, the warmth of the day suddenly overshadowed by an icy fear. Who are you? Michael managed to say, his voice steadier than he felt. The man took a deep breath, clearly grappling with the situation. I'm Thomas, a social worker. We need to discuss Ben's situation, something you may not be fully aware of. As the words tumbled out, Michael's heart raced. A million scenarios flashed through his mind. Was Ben in trouble? Did someone want to take him away? His protective instincts kicked in, creating a shield against the stranger's presence. What do you mean? Ben's been in foster care for a while, Thomas explained, edging closer. There are important decisions being made about his future, and it's crucial you understand the context. The name foster care echoed in Michael's ears, chilling him. He wanted to shield Ben from this harsh reality, but he couldn't. Ben looked small and lost, the excitement of the day dimming from his eyes. Why are you here? Ben asked, his voice shaky. Am I in trouble? No, Thomas quickly reassured him, but there was a tension in the air that belied his words. The agency is looking to place you with a permanent family. They believe you need stability, and he paused, glancing at Michael again. It was a moment too long. Michael sensed there was more. And they are exploring all options, including whether you might be adopted, Thomas concluded. The word adoption hung heavy between them. Michael's breath caught. A carefully crafted dream was suddenly pressed against the harsh reality of red tape and bureaucracy. Did he truly hold the authority to change Ben's life, or was it all merely fleeting? What does that mean for us? Michael dared to ask. His mind raced, calculating what it would mean for their day-to-day life, their mural, their laughter. Simply put, it means you will need to meet certain criteria and possibly face scrutiny before you can officially adopt. Ben looked between Michael and the stranger, his innocent confusion painting a stark contrast to the gravity of the discussion. I don't want to leave. The word struck a deeper chord in Michael's chest, each syllable a reminder of the bond they'd begun to forge. No one is going anywhere, Ben. We'll figure this out. Glaring at Thomas, Michael added, right? The man nodded slowly, but his gaze faltered. It's not that simple. There are processes. Michael spat out the word. I'm not just a form to fill out. He's a child, and we're a family. We're trying to be a family. Lily, having watched the exchange, stepped closer with her arms wrapped tightly around her beloved stuffed bear. But we painted a mural. Families stay together, right? The innocence in her voice cut through the tension, forcing everyone to confront the truth. Families do stay together, Thomas agreed quietly, compassion blending with professionalism. But it's complicated. We want the best for Ben, and that might not align with your hopes right now. A wave of desperation washed over Michael. The hopes they had painted together, the joy and laughter all felt precarious now. What if we fail this process? He asked, his voice barely above a whisper. What if all of this, he gestured toward the colors of their mural, is just a dream? In that moment, Michael understood that the emotional stakes had just risen significantly. It was not just about him wanting to keep Ben, it was about a system that often prioritized stability over emotional connection. As silence filled the room, the reality of their fragile situation settled around them. They had only just begun to meet each other as a family. Could they really do this? The door swung open, and the stillness was broken, but now there was uncertainty in the air. Was their painted hope enough to withstand the scrutiny of a world that felt so much bigger than their small, newly forged family? What happens next? Michael finally asked, his heart heavy but determined. And as Thomas began to explain the next steps, Michael realized this unveiling was just the prelude to their battle for a future filled with love, laughter, and the kinds of colors that made families vibrant. And in the dim light of the room, the question echoed louder than ever: could they hold on to their dream of a family amid life's uncertainties? Michael's mind raced as Thomas began to outline the next steps. It felt as if every word he spoke carved deeper grooves of anxiety into Michael's heart. The room, once filled with warmth and laughter, now felt like a cold interrogation room, fluorescent lights buzzing low overhead. First, you will need to fill out paperwork, Thomas explained, his voice methodical, offering little solace. There are background checks, home evaluations, and interviews with a panel. Interviews? With a panel? Michael echoed, incredulous. What am I, some contestant on a reality show? Thomas raised his hand slightly, trying to calm the rising tension. I understand this feels overwhelming. But it's necessary. They want to ensure that Ben is placed in a safe, nurturing environment. It's not personal. Michael could only shake his head in disbelief. He glanced at Ben, whose cheeks were stained with ice cream remnants, his youthful face twisted with worry. Do you understand any of this, Ben? He asked gently, the protective tone fading into a whisper. Ben shrugged, his expression vacant. Will I have to move? Is this about my life? Before Michael could respond, Lily stepped forward, her tiny voice sharp with determination. "You're not going to leave us, Ben. We painted together. We're a team." Her bravado, infused with childlike hope, ignited something within Michael. She believed, even when the adults around her found it difficult to hold on. "I'm not going anywhere," Ben declared, his small voice gathering strength. "Right, Michael?" "Right," Michael affirmed, though doubt gnawed at him. They were up against more than just paperwork. They were battling an intricate system that measured worth in checklists, rather than feelings. Feeling his resolve ignite, Michael shifted focus back to Thomas. "What do we need to do to make it happen?" "Whatever it takes, we can do this together." Thomas studied him, surprise flickering in his eyes. "It's about commitment. You'll need to show you can maintain a stable environment. That means home visits, financial stability, and lots of patience during scrutiny." "Patience? What is that?" Lily quipped with a mischievous smile, breaking the tension that hung thick in the air. Thomas chuckled lightly, but the weight of impending steps was not lost on him. "You'll want to make an excellent impression for all involved. It's hard work, but many families have made it through." "I'll do it," Michael replied, steeling himself. "We'll do it. I'll prove that we're worth this chance. I know we can be a family." Ben glanced up at him, his blue eyes brightening, filled with an unwavering trust. For a moment, hope flickered in the corners of Michael's heart as a smile tugged at his lips. "Can we have a party?" Lily suddenly asked. "A big one, to celebrate us becoming a family for real?" The idea was sheer innocence, yet it was also laced with the realization that they might need such celebrations an opportunity to illuminate the good amid uncertainties. Michael nodded, feeling a surge of determination. "Absolutely. A party sounds perfect. We'll celebrate this every step of the way." Just then, Thomas interrupted. "Celebrations can be great motivators, but don't forget the serious matters at hand. We need to focus on getting through the next stages first." A heavy silence landed again, stretching the air tight. Reality was heavy, the dream was alive, but it felt fragile, like the light of a flickering candle. "Do we have enough time?" Ben whispered, a hint of sadness seeping into his tone. "Will it be okay?" Michael bent down to look Ben straight in the eyes, feeling the weight of his responsibility anchor him. "I promise you, we're going to fight for this together. You are not alone in this." The resolve in his voice seemed to breathe life back into Ben. A momentary smile broke across the boy's face, bringing light back into the room, but Michael could see the flicker of uncertainty still lingering beneath the surface. As they stepped out into the harsh sunlight once more, Michael felt the world pressing in on them. His heart raced with the daunting awareness that what lay ahead would push them beyond limits they never thought they'd encounter. "Will we make it, Michael?" Ben's voice broke through the noise of the bustling street, laced with a sincerity that threatened to unravel Michael's determined facade. Before he could answer, the reality of their uphill battle loomed large. His grip tightened around Ben's small hand, anchoring them both in that moment. Could love truly be enough to conquer the complexities of the system? It was a question echoing in his mind as they moved forward, step by step, into the uncharted waters ahead. As the days turned into weeks, Michael found strength in the chaos. Each morning, he rose with renewed determination. The warmth of Lily's laughter and Ben's easy grin powered him. They began tackling the mountains of paperwork together. Each form felt heavy, a reminder of the barriers they had to cross, but Michael held on to the thought of celebration more than the challenges ahead. "Let us finish our mural," Lily would often chirp, her eyes glowing. The mural had become a colorful patchwork of their days together, a sacred space of hope and dreams. Michael, paintbrush in hand, added layers of warmth and love with every stroke. It became more than just a wall, it symbolized their growing bond, their family. Then came the home visits. Social workers walked through the halls, observing, jotting down notes, and asking questions that made Michael's heart race. They wanted to know if he could provide stability. If he could be a dad. If he could keep Ben safe and loved. The pressure felt daunting, but Michael was buoyed by the unwavering faith that poured from Lily and Ben. Each interview was an opportunity to showcase the love and warmth that pulsed through their lives together. "Do you think we're doing okay?" Michael sometimes asked Ben, his voice barely above a whisper. The uncertainty gnawed at him. "Yeah." Ben chirped back, his confidence unwavering. "I believe in us, Michael." With those words, Ben lit a spark in the darkest corners of Michael's worries. Then the day finally arrived, the day they'd learn whether their family bond would be recognized. The three of them sat side by side, hands intertwined, hearts synchronized in rhythm, as the social worker delivered the verdict. Time felt suspended, each second stretching painfully into the next. "After reviewing everything, we believe it's in Ben's best interest to be placed in an adoptive home," the social worker said, her face a mixture of professionalism and kindness. "The committee has approved your case." For a heartbeat, silence engulfed them. Then, the floodgates burst open. Lily jumped up, squealing in delight. "We did it. We're family." "Really? I can stay." Ben's eyes shone bright, hope blooming across his face. "Absolutely," the social worker confirmed, smiling. "Congratulations, you guys. This is a full circle moment." In that instant, the air became electric. Michael leapt up, pulling both Lily and Ben into a bear hug. Tears streamed down his face, the realization that every rocky path they had journeyed together was worth it. "Today, we celebrate," Michael declared, his voice a cascade of joy. "A real family party." Lily beamed with a glow that outshone the sun, and Ben's eyes sparkled like stars. They spent the day planning decorations, baking treats, and laughing louder than ever. It was a celebration of love, resilience, and the beautiful kaleidoscope of what family meant. As the sun set that night, the three of them gathered around the mural, now filled with vibrant colors and joyous memories. Together, they painted a new sun, a symbol of their shared future and all the possibilities that lay ahead. With their hearts bursting, they stepped into a future that felt tangible and bright. For the first time, Michael embraced the journey, knowing that along the way, they would weather any storms together. The complexities of life might still loom on the horizon, but love, laughter, and togetherness held the ultimate power. They turned, hands clasped, ready to take on whatever adventures awaited, knowing that with love, they could conquer anything. The road ahead might twist and turn, but side by side, they carried the promise of family, painted forever in bold colors on their hearts. And in this moment of profound joy, Michael finally understood, family isn't about perfection, it's about the willingness to bond, to embrace the beautiful mess of life together. With radiant smiles lighting their faces, they stepped forward into a dazzling new chapter, ready to write their story. Now, if you felt inspired by this journey, if it touched your heart even just a little, subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories that await. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and keep the love flowing. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this ending, because we want to hear from you. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Show your support and be a part of our loving community today.